Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Suburban Stone Age. And what you're staring at here is the dark side of fruit trees. We're out front in our front yard in suburbia in Southern California, and we have what I consider a mature food forest planted out here. It's 10 years old, and with that comes established fruit trees that need harvest and maintenance. So we're looking at a 3-in-1 peach here. This guy is the earliest producer so far this year. And I have to be honest with you, I have been out several waves thinning immature fruit from this tree. And it's still, I've removed thousands of immature fruit to thin the tree. And it still produced so many, there's just no way I can harvest them. And they're all kind of small and poor quality. And once they mature, they start dropping like crazy. So when you have fruit trees, you have to build into your plan time to clean up these fruit trees. They get on the sidewalk, they get stepped on, they make a mess. This is during the pandemic. We have a lot more pedestrians than usual using the sidewalks, and it's not okay to have stepped on disgusting fruit. Plus, it attracts fruit flies, which is not okay. It's not okay because they will not only start to get into the dropped fruit and be kind of a pest and get, fly around and be gross, but they'll also start to chew into newly ripe fruit and ruin that as well, and you will get less. So that's something to consider. Fruit trees are wonderful, but they're not zero maintenance. During the couple weeks that they bear, you have to get out there and deal with it. And like I say, all this fruit that's dropped is fruit that is post thinning. There's thousands of immature fruit I've already tried to thin out earlier in the season, and it still produced this much. It's overwhelming. It's fun and it's abundant, but it's overwhelming. So in this video, I'll talk to you about, first of all, thinning fruits, and second of all, just you got to clean up after your tree. Okay, so as we just discussed, this situation is not ideal. And you will, in self-defense, try to thin your tree often as you get more experience having fruit trees. And that's for a couple of reasons. Is these trees, when they seem to have an on year and an off year. And this is definitely an on year for this tree, where they produce so prolifically they will hurt themselves. These fruits have been thinned out pretty well by me, but if I hadn't done that, and you can see on some of the branches where I couldn't reach too well. Let me get back in there, see if you can see that guy. The peaches are just ridiculously thick on that branch, and every branch was like that. That, as the fruits mature and they get bigger and bigger, will harm the branch to the point where it will snap it off and hurt the tree. So thinning it's tough to do in the beginning when those first couple years, you're anxious to get fruit. You don't want to waste a single one. But after you've been overwhelmed enough, you start to realize it's in self-defense. Cleaning up all this garbage fruit sucks. It's a mess. It's not becoming to the neighborhood. So you thin. My mantra as we've gone on is quality over quantity. I have so much food that this yard can produce. It's so much more than my family and neighbors and wildlife can even consume, that I'd rather just take really good care of it, and instead of focusing on lots and lots of low quality fruit, which is what all of this is, especially that stuff down there, it's low quality. It's not even really worth eating because it's so small. So I'd rather reduce the quantity and then have what's left be manageable and harvestable and sustainable. So that's tip number 1, thin the heck out of your fruit. Wisdom says that quality is better than quantity. And then tip number 3 is literally budget time to clean up after your dirty fruit tree, especially if you have neighbors. It takes an effort. You have to come out here and do it. You have to keep up with it. It's better to keep the fruit flies down, because once this tree's done, I have others that will be bearing again soon all the way down the line. You can see them there. And the fruit fly population, if it explodes, they'll start to ruin that fruit too. All right, so that's it for now. I'm going to get back to work and I'll show you the end, how it looks in the end. All right, everyone, so here's the cleaned up version. So that bucket full of stuff is going to go out to the worms, so there's no waste. But that's what you got to do for your fruit trees. You got to keep them clean so that you keep pests away, such as rabbits and ground squirrels and rats and flies. And then also, you got to keep it safe for people to walk so they're not stumbling over pits and stepping in goop and all that good stuff. When it comes to the harvest, next year I would love to be able to donate a lot of the fruit to a local food pantry and also sell some to the neighbors for a little extra cash. This year, though, during the pandemic, that's not really going to be possible. So we do have a bumper crop, but it's not going to go to waste and rot on the ground. It's going to go back into the worm bin to be recycled into nutrients and put back out next year for the tree to continue the cycle. So there we have it. The dark side of having a food forest and fruit trees is it's a lot of work and they're kind of messy sometimes, but it's still worth it in the long run. Thanks for watching. If you would like more tips and tricks on edible landscaping and living in a mature food forest, which we definitely do, hit that subscribe button. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and found it useful, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. We'll talk about it. All right, guys. Thanks. You have a great day. Bye-bye.